Hi, let's talk about centering. So, something that I see quite often is that when someone has a ball of clay, they throw it down into the center. Stop doing that. What are you doing that for? It's never going to be centered. If I turn this wheel on, that thing is way off. So, why not give yourself a head start? Take your piece, hold it a couple inches above your bat, give it a nice slap down, a nice tap, a rotate and a tap. It's connected, it's closer to center. You're off to a better start already. Now, I'm right-handed, which means most of the centering for this first technique is done with my left hand. My left palm is going to sit at 9 o'clock, where my right is going to karate chop this part sitting directly in the center of our piece of clay, and I'm going to interlock my fingers if I can, and I'll curve my left fingers over the front. So, if I apply enough pressure, it should pretty quickly center the pot. I'm using quite bad reclaimed clay at the moment, so what I'm going to do before I do anything else is bring this up and down a couple times. This will solidify, make everything one uniform piece, and we can go from there. So what I'm going to do, pull back with my right hand, push forward with my left wrist, and bring that clay up in between my hands. I am not doing this to center the clay. I am only doing this to make everything uniform. I'm going to do this a couple times until it feels good. And when I'm bringing this down, I'm going to take my left palm, go over the top of the piece of clay, and I can do it with one hand if I really want to. It's always good to use two hands if you can. It adds the extra support and stability that is really kind of necessary with a lot of pottery. We'll go up one more time, so why not? All right, so we have a bit of an undercut here. We have a little bit of an offset. Let's really make this thing off center. Look at that thing, not even connected to the bat anymore. Now the technique I just showed you, again, it's really just in the left hand. I'm going to angle slightly away from the bat, a bit away from our pot, so our hand is not undercutting, but away. This will help solidify everything. It'll help seal it down to the bat itself, so your pot's not necessarily going to go flying. And again, you can really just do this just with your left hand if you really want to. But what ends up happening is that if you push, it starts going up. And you can get pretty close to center this way, but it's going to rise. So I'm going to push down just a little bit with my right hand, and it'll center our piece of clay. Does everything have to be 100% centered? No. If you're in the 90% for centeredness, you're pretty much good. This is not 100% centered. I would throw with this. This is totally fine. Let's do it one more time. Pushing with my right, pushing with my left, pushing down slightly with my right. And now when I release my hands, I'm going to release the pressure in my hands, and then I'm going to release my hands. If I do it too quickly and I get things centered and I come off, it decenters. And so it's a two-part step, two-part process. Centered, release my muscle, release my hand. Now let's talk about another way to center, because this might not be what you want to do, or it might not work for you. Depends on your hands. I'm now going to take my right hand, place it on top, hooked fingers. I'm going to pull back and push down. My left hand is going to push down to the top of my palm. My thumb is going to try to push into the center of the piece of clay. So I'm pushing down, pulling back, and then all I do is release the pressure and pull my hands off the pot, and I'm centered. Again, it does not have to be 100% centered. I realize that this is not 100% centered, but it does not take away anything from throwing a pot. You're going to have to recenter once you open it up anyway, so there's no need to worry about that. Let's do this one more time. I'm going to knock this thing off center. Fingers in front, pulling back, thumb in the middle, pushing down, left hand on top, and centered. Happens really, really quickly. Now, something that I want to talk about too is where my forearms are. I'm always pushing aggressively on this splash guard, and when I'm doing this, I'm tensing my abs. So this is a tensed ab, push down motion. And the more you can do that very aggressively, the faster you can center without having to really worry about it. You don't have to work on it. You don't have to sit there and think you're centering for a really long time. You can kind of just push, release, and be done. Anyway, I hope that helped, and let me know if you have any questions. All right, bye for now.